welcome back to the Citizen channel. Hope you're all staying safe and well. And if you went down to South Wales or you watched it on telly the other night, we'll have the story of the game. Yes, Swansea 1, Manchester City 3. Of course, in the Carabao Cup, round 4. So we're through to the quarter-finals. Yes, so this is a little look back at the game itself, which I thought started reasonably poorly, and then we sort of grew into it. I think, is that the word? Became a bit more combative because we were getting beat second to every ball at the start. When Bernardo said we were 2 seconds late for everything again, which we were at Villa. And more or less the same from, let's face it, a totally different team for this one. So we'll have a look at the story of the game. Yeah, I was trying to come up with a punchy headline, but about swan fakes and all this sort of thing, but I've not come up with one that I'm happy with, so we'll just call it the story of the game this week, guys. My apologies, I'm very tired. I've got about an hour's sleep. I got about an hour's disruptive sleep on a coach coming back, and then I've probably got about an hour when I got home, so my mind's not working at the moment, so please forgive me. Anyway, if you can forgive me and you're still with me, please hit that like button, guys. It helps the algorithms. If you can do that now for me, that'd be wonderful. Hope you stick with me and enjoy this little the content on this anyway. That'd be fantastic. Of course, subscribe if you've not already done so. That'd be wonderful. And yeah, hype points. If you can spare any hype points for the channel, again, helps the algorithms, helps me get out there on the various search engines and stuff like that. Is a great boon to the channel. I mean, people sometimes don't realise, you know, and forget to press that like button. But if you can, hit it, guys. Very important. And we'll talk about other ways you might want some support from me, etc. later on before we go. Right, the teams, yeah, 10 changes to the City team from the Aston Villa game. Trafford, Lewis, Kusanov, Akiat, Nouri, Gonzalez, Mukasa, Bob, Shirky, Doku and Marmoush. And on the bench, Bettinelli. Nice to see Bettinelli. Donnarumma, Stones, Gvardiol, Savic, Nunes, O'Reilly, Phillips and Foden. Swansea 11, of course, not so familiar names to me anyway. Fisher, Key, Whittle, Timon, Burgess, Samuel Smith, Franco, Casey, Inusa, Galbraith and Ida, or Ida, I don't know how you pronounce that one. Right, the match itself, yeah, 2 minutes. Swansea have the ball in the net, don't they? But of course, I thought it was an offside, but apparently it was a foul in the build-up. But no VAR was there for this, so at least you knew what decision was made. It wasn't, well, more or less got to be overturned. You never know this day and age, do you? But that was one benefit. 9 minutes, Marmoush is found in the box and has enough time and space to do something a little bit more, but perhaps he's a bit rusty. As I've said in the player ratings, guys, please check that player ratings show out as well. And he tries to find a teammate rather than doing it himself, which is unusual. He will probably do it, so he sort of tries to do a cushion header to a colleague or to one of his other teammates, but it sort of isn't the right choice, and the chance goes begging. But then on 12 minutes, yes, I mean, Swansea started superbly. I say they were the first to most balls. City looked a bit out of it, a bit lack of pace, and we were getting quite a little bit embarrassed at times, and the fans, of course, were up for it, as we were bound to be, seeing their team sort of dominate Premier team of our ilk, although it's obviously our B team rather than our main team. But you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter on paper. It's Swansea 1, City 0. Yes, Key found Franco on the edge of the box. Perhaps Nori could have closed him down a bit better. And of course, a great goal. I mean, he took it really well. He sort of opened his body up. I mean, I was right behind it, and I think it hit the post and went in. Trafford had no, even Donna wouldn't have got, even a Donna baby wouldn't have got to that one. I mean, Trafford had no chance, couldn't get to it. He just puts it into that top corner. Rebounds into net. We're 1-0 down, and probably deservedly so at that stage, because Swansea had been the better team. Yeah, we sort of huffed and puffed a bit, but Swansea kept the foot on our throat, if you like, for a little while. 28 minutes, Marmoush lays the ball back to Shirky on the right, who finds space to drive in. A little bit of a step over. Defender didn't know where the hell he was going, and then he fizzes the ball across the face of goal, but no one's there to meet you. I think there's about 7 Swansea shirts. I think there's one dark City shirt in there, but all the rest of the City players were sort of hanging back. They weren't around the 6-yard box. We were nearer the penalty spot, 18-yard line. So, yeah, we just needed someone to be a bit clever, a bit brighter to get in there. But having said that, perhaps Marmoush could see that as well. He could, he's probably aimed for the back post because there was a City player there. I can't remember who it was, but perhaps he should have pulled it back rather than fizzed it across the 6-yard box. Anyway, it went begging again. 31 minutes, we were almost 2-0 down, weren't we? Kusanov just fell asleep. Just a Kusanov bozo again, rustiness, and his pass across, it's just picked off easily by Whittle, and he's through on goal. The defender tries to close him. It might have been Atnori, was it? It might have been Atnori, I'm not too sure. Tried to close him down, but it's through on goal, and his sort of effort seemed to bounce wide. Although I think Jimmy got a fingernail to it, didn't he? I'm sure he did. I think they gave a corner, if I remember rightly. I think it was classed as a save, but really that should have been 2-0, and we should have been in deep trouble at that stage. 38 minutes, when we started to climb back into this late in the first half, the ball falls to the feet of Cherky in the box. A lovely step over by Lewis. I was watching it back and I couldn't figure out if he made a touch on it or he just stepped over it. Either way, or a little flick, but I think either way anyway, it was brilliantly. He let it run between his legs or flicked it slightly, whichever it was. And Cherky just sort of, with the defender, sort of gets it sounds worse than it is, sort of pokes it at goal and hits the post, but it actually did very well to get the shot almost on target. It hit the inside of the post, of course, and bounced back out. And then, of course, 39 minutes, very soon after, it's 1-1. Little bit of luck, shall we say. Doku kept the ball in play on the left-hand side and sort of moved in with the defender sort of marking for a chance. Only sort of one defender on him for a change. Usually it was 1, 2 or 3, wasn't it? And his shot was pretty tame. It wasn't the greatest shot, but I'm not too sure why the defender sort of deflected it into the goal. I thought he had time to... It didn't seem that powerful that he just hit him. I mean, he did hit him, but it didn't seem to hit him with any sort of great power. So perhaps the defender... A little bit suspect there, but of course the keeper had no chance. I think it was Burgess, the defender, and he looped into the back of the net. And it looked even worse up our end. It looked a really bad own goal, but it didn't look too bad when I watched it back on the highlights. So we're back in it, and we've gained in confidence. Then we've started to turn things around. And on 43 minutes, Marmouche picks up the ball in the box, does a lovely little turn, and cuts in. I think he. Couple of times, sort of, it's typical City. We beat one man and go back and beat him again. But he fakes to shoot, deceiving the defender, and then of course, as it's sort of on its way across goal, because it wasn't actually going in the goal. The defender sort of blasts it away, but from our angle, it looks like it'd been cleared off the line. But it sort of would have fizzed wide anyway if the defender had left it. But he took no chances, and that was it really. 1 minute. Injury time at the end of the first half. So at 1-1 half time, and there were signs, weren't there, that and I was reasonably happier at half time because there seemed to be signs that City had weathered that early Swansea storm. We'd quieten the fans a little bit, and of course. Instruction from Pep or a bollocking, whichever way you want to look at. The half-time Oxo drink taken, Bovril or oranges or whatever they have. And I was sure, as I sort of stood on the concourse chatting to a couple of guys that I knew, that we'd see better from City in the second half, and we certainly did, didn't we? It seemed a totally different team that second half. I know we made some substitutions on the hour, just after the hour, but even then we looked far more potent in that second half. And we basically just attacked what was a mass defence. Swansea just were forced back, pinned them back in their own half time and time again. They managed to get blocks in, they managed to tackle. We weren't willing to risk shooting from distance because we don't really have the players to do that, do we? That's the thing. And I don't blame City for not having to go sometimes because we do lack a bit of confidence shooting from outside the box. So I'm quite happy if people like Cherky and all this lot try and fiddle it into the box, and Bob and Doku try and jink in and try and create a little bit of space within the box, even though there's about 20 men in the box. I'm quite happy with that because I'm not happy with our shooting from distance, to be honest with you. So I'm all right with that. But of course, we dominated, and then obviously on 62 minutes, when we do shoot, rather than look for openings in the box, sort of Doku laid it off for Nori, and his shot was terrible. Ballooned over the bar into the stands. I was a bit further away from it. There's one in a bit that almost hit me. 63 minutes was a triple substitution for City, which changed the dynamic in a little way. I mean, don't forget, we were doing very, very well, but it didn't harm the dynamic, put it that way. Stones replaced Kusanov, which was nothing wrong with that one. Foden, of course, was a inspired choice to come on for Newcastle, who didn't have the greatest game or greatest effect on the game. And Gvardiol came on for Nori, of course. Again, Nori had been a bit rusty, so positive substitutions. 66 minutes, Gonzalez has a turn of blasted over, and that's the one where it landed near me. By the time it sort of landed, he can't keep his effort down. But then finally, with time seemingly running out, we didn't want penalties, did we? That's for sure. 78 minutes, it's 2-1. Cherki finds Marmoush in the box again before Omo takes the ball. Omar takes the ball, turning. Defender sort of turns the defender going wide, doesn't he? I mean, it just... You think he's going to cross it, and he just absolutely just cannons his effort in off the bar, I think it was, and the poor keeper, he was just totally shot, a bit like the old Aguero sort of shots from the near post, a bit like Alvarez could do those sort of things as well. So yeah, absolutely battered into the goal by Marmoush to take the 2-1 lead. You sort of think it was game over at that stage, but you wouldn't have minded a third. But it did take the 4th minute of an extra 6 minutes for that third to come, of course. Guardiola, he had I think he ripped his sleeve, or he just started. His sleeve was flapping. I mean, obviously, it must. I did joke in the player ratings. It must be the latest Paris fashion for footballers, but I don't know what he'd done to his sleeve. But anyway, and I don't think he was trying to find Cherki, but he did. I think it was more luck than judgment on the edge of the area, and Cherki just hit it first time. The goal is probably flat-footed, unsighted a little bit, and it just nestles into the corner. Great view of it from behind the goal, of course, and it sort of, as I said, it was probably over at 2-1, but it certainly made the last couple of minutes of the game far easier to watch anyway. So my little sum up, City's B team, I'm being cruel there because it is, I did class it made up of squad players and people returning from injury, so it was a B team, let's be honest about it. There was 10 changes to seemingly our best team against Aston Villa, so, you know, I'm not being cruel. It is our B team. Andy Slot thinks we've got two first teams, so that's fair enough, 2 A teams perhaps, but of course, I think the Welsh team intensity caught us on the hop at the start. I don't know why. Why would it? We knew what was going to happen. I'm sure Pep had warned the players. But, of course, that intensity that we suffered much of the first half, I mean, I said they could have been 2-0 up at one stage. But we hung in there, didn't we? We did hang in there, sort of. We did try and knock it about a little bit. And by half-time, you could see that the tide was turning. And once we got that equaliser, of course, it was one-way traffic for the last few minutes of the first half. And we just carried on. And you just sensed in that second half that we weren't, you know, they were not going to score. The best we were going to do was penalties. We had the ability to go up and get a goal or two, which we did. So it only seemed a matter of time, really. Some of the stats from this game, Swansea, 2 shots, 2 on target. There you go, well done. 100%. 24 from City, 6 on target. And probably could have been more than that if we'd let loose a few more times. But as I said, I'm quite happy trying to walk it in the net when we've got players who can't hit can't hit a cow's ass with a banjo with the ball. You know, they can't hit the net. Possession, 76% for City. Pass accuracy was 90, which is a bit lower, but you expect that from a team that doesn't play together that often. Theirs was 74%. They made 7 fouls, we made 8. 1 yellow card each. 4 offsides for them, none for us. 3 corners for them, 8 for us. So, long throws, yes, none. Hey, see, Championship, they don't do long throws. It's only Premier clubs do long throws now. So there you go. Long throws, I didn't see any. So there you go, fantastic. Can I stop doing it now? No, because it wasn't the Premier League, was it? I'll keep my eye on Bournemouth. I'm not too sure if Bournemouth use that tactic. We'll have to see, won't we? Pep said after the game, he said about Gonzalez, defensively he helped us a lot. We have an incredible amount of players offensively that don't have the mentality to defend. Not because they don't want to run. To defend means when I'm close to the opponent and take the ball, we're not we're not top in that, and Nico helps us in that. But especially the ball moves much better in the right positions, much clever where the space is free. This is Pep speak, of course. He's so young, a lovely guy he is. So I'm very pleased because the type of football players, they are incredibly coachable. They deserve the best. We all agree, don't we? I think the general man of the match, I think looking round everywhere, was probably Shirky for this one. I can't particularly disagree with that. And of course, we will now play a home tie. So yes, let's see how many we pack into the Episiode for that one. Because there won't be I don't think there'll be thousands coming from Brentford. Should be a good number, I would have thought. It'd be interesting actually to see how many do come. But of course, we play Brentford now at home in the quarterfinals. Just a couple of the media headlines. As I say, I was a bit tired when I got home this morning, so I've just managed to dig up 2 or 3. The Express and the Mirror use the same match report with the same title. New Blues lacking a bit of pep. Bit insulting. Yeah, we did for a bit, then we didn't. Guardian's Ben Fisher says City take their time to put Swansea to the sword. We did. It's a bit more realistic. Our local paper, of course, Manchester Evening News, back page Marmite for Marmouche, of course. Inside Simon Pekoski. Pep's praise for mighty Marmouche, and it wasn't a vintage show, but City are growing into a better side. That's a good title, isn't it? So let me know your thoughts on the game, guys. Please, if you enjoyed the content, of course, press those buttons. As I said, helps all the algorithms. And out now, of course, available now are the player ratings and, of course, the preview of the City versus Bournemouth game. So get watching those. And if you do want to contact me or you do want to help the channel in other ways or you want to shout out yourself or anything to contact me, there are different ways of doing that. Just keep watching and listening.
Thanks for that, guys. Hope you enjoyed the feature anyway. And please, if you can, give us a thumbs up, give us a like. That'd be wonderful. And if you're not already a subscriber, it'd be great if you could subscribe. It's absolutely free. Also, check out all my social media links. They'll be in the description and comments below if you want to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook. We can chat on there and do all things City, of course. Also, if you're into film and TV, don't forget a lot of this channel is film and TV stuff. I love me film and TV like I do City. So if you're into that, have a look. Or if you know someone who might not be that bothered about the football but likes film and TV, give them a kick in my direction. I'll be very grateful. And special thanks as ever to supporters of the channel. Piat6505, they've got a little eBay shop selling film and TV memorabilia mainly, including books, magazines, posters, lots of posters, and they do have some City stuff as well that they've purloined off me over time, so there'll be a few bits and pieces, probably more going on as well. So have a look at Piat6505 on eBay. And yes, if you do go onto eBay, and if you remember, we do have memberships, 99p a month. You get early access to all my vlogs, so as soon as I do them, you get them. Sometimes it could be months before they're published generally, so a lot of the history stuff, so you have access. The membership gives you access to that. It gives you 10% extra off at Piat6505 if you want to buy any of that memorabilia. That's all that you can actually gain that from being a member. And support the channel. That's a great way of supporting the channel, of course, like watching the ads on the original thing that you've seen now, my original feature. That'd be fantastic. So yeah, also before we go, podcasts. If you like your podcasts, I do a podcast with Mike Long in South Korea. It's called Bolt from the Blue in our 8th season. Yeah, we've had some good fun on there. We're trying to have a bit of humour, generally look at City's games as and when we play them, have a look back. So please check out that. It's on Soundcloud, Spotify, all good places you get your podcasts from. There you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed everything about this feature, and you didn't mind me asking you about this at the end. And please, all I ever ask for you is to stay safe, everyone, especially you Blues.